Today I'm going to talk about what will I advise the president if I will be his or her economic advisor. Um, there are millions of advices that economic advisor can give to the president because there are millions of there are like plethora of economic issues in the world, and it will never end and it never ends. However, like I cannot include all the things in this video. However, I'll try to mention the main problems and which affects the economic most in these days. Well, firstly, like USA's middle class hasn't fared well in recent decades, and those at the bottom of the ladder have fared the worst of all. Also, the latest data show that the average family's income rose sharply between um, the last years, um, and the gains disproportionately benefited those at the bottom of the ladder. Inflation adjusted incomes still haven't recovered to the levels achieved before the last recession. Uh, and achieved in the late 1990s. There are many reasons why most families are struggling, and there are lack of jobs, there are unemployment. We should take control of that, and we should try to avoid unemployment, especially in the USA, because it's a big and serious problem in this country. Well, my advice to next president, my advice to president is that if you wanna improve middle class incomes and help people at the bottom move up the ladder, there is nothing more important than creating jobs. Well, all elected officials give lip service to this objective, but often fail to achieve it, honestly. Because it's difficult to do, and now I'm gonna talk about what would I advise to the president. Well, firstly, it's critical to maintain employment. It's very critical and it's a serious problem, as I mentioned before. Some might argue that an unemployment rate of under 5% is about as good as it gets. In the late 1990s or 20s, we got the unemployment rate down to 4%. That made a huge difference to people's income, and especially to those at the bottom. Inflation could rear its head again, but it's not a problem right now. It's well below the Federal Reserve's target of 2%. The problem is that the monetary policy is running out of gas. Interest rates are at rock bottom, and the quantitative easing is hitting diminishing returns. We need a fiscal injection in the form of infrastructure spending or programs such as the ATTC, targeted at people who will spend and not save the money. That may seem like the wrong medicine for federal government, and that's already running big deficits with much bigger ones to come. So this new spending or tax cut needs to be coupled with policies that will slow the growth of entitlements and reduce tax subsidies going to the upper middle class or the longer run. This combination of short-term stimulus with long-term restraint might just find enough support in the new Congress to make a new legislative effort feasible. And secondly, while employment has to be an overriding objective, there is some evidence that we suffer from a growing structural problem as well. For example, a large portion of working-age men have simply dropped out of the labor market. This trend began long before the recent recession. These men tend to be less educated, and technology appears to be replacing the jobs they used to do. Manufacturing output is as high as ever, but manufacturing employment has plummeted as a result of automation and to a lesser extent competition from other countries. Well, trade and special technology can create many losers, and we have done way too little to address this fact. Trade barriers, however, are not the solution. They will actually make matters worse. Well, without help for those who are losing ground in the labor market, the social fabric will fray and our politics could go from bad to worse. The long term solution is better education and training or retraining. But the transition period could be long and waiting for all those better educated workers to graduate from school will not do. We are going to need a stronger safety net coupled with subsidized jobs in either the public or private sector. And again, I think there is room for political compromise here. Conservatives may want to make some safety net programs more conditional on work. Liberals want the government to create new jobs. They should be able to find agreement around the idea of doing both. An individual who applies for benefit, who is considered employable, should get a public subsidized job if they can't find one in the private sector. At the same time, no benefits should be paid to those who show no interest in work, as evidenced by an unwillingness to take the subsidized job on offer. Additionally, the federal disability program should be reformed in a way that makes it possible for someone with a temporary disability to get benefits but doesn't allow them to stay on the rolls forever. Well, there are numerous issues related to the design of these kinds of initiatives and political minefields along the way. But without a laser-like focus on jobs, there is no hope at all that we can raise incomes for lower and middle class families. Economic growth is more enjoyable when it comes with fewer negative sides as possible. And there are ways to fully benefit from growth without really impacting on other parts of the country or even on the population. Some examples would be spending less on health services but instead focus on healthier way of living, with exercises, healthy diets, proper management of time. We shouldn't spend too much on health centers or such kind of things, cause we should create facilities. We should create courses or like such kind of things to encourage people to make them live healthier lifestyle. And after that, we won't need any big hospitals or something. Of course, we need hospitals and health centers, but spending too much on them, like things will get worse by the time. The population should live healthier and health lifestyle. So we should create some facilities. We should educate them from younger ages. And here comes the education. And in economics, education is very important and it plays an important role. Well, without education, there will be no great economy. And if there's a country with great economy, it means that it educates its population very well. Well, secondly, people could choose to work few hours, given the chance to raise employment in the economy. Resulting in an unemployment population getting a part-time job, the whole economy will be able to work more as well, more people to work. Because the economy can only grow if people work more and better. By choosing to work less, families also allow themselves more time to spend their time with their children and giving them a better family life, resulting in better educated future. And as I mentioned before, education is very important. Imposing tax on development, putting severe penalties on pollution that may arise can be another way to put a brake to harmful development and a way to promote sustainable development of the economy. We should have more penalties about pollution, because if there's pollution, our economy will get worse by the time, because by the time we'll have to spend more and more money because of the population, to the because of the pollution, sorry, because of the pollution and deforestation, air pollution, like the lack of recycled bins, this kind of things, they are making things worse. And at this time, we must, like as a country, as a government, the government must spend more money on this. So we should educate our children well from early ages. They should know what's economy, what's pollution. They should know what's employment, unemployment, and these kind of things. Um, if they'll know everything, like I mean, about economics, if they will know how everything works, if they will know how to at least live a healthy lifestyle to support the economy, then everything will be easy for the government and there will be economic growth.